Another announcement before I call the next group. I want all groups, if anybody is registered to provide oral testimony, will you go back and report in to E1028, please? Yeah, no, if you're in the room, stay in the room. I was just seeing if y'all were awake. That's what I was doing. Okay, if you are in this room to testify, stay right here. If there's anybody out there listening who is not in E1028, go ahead and report to that room. Oh, my. The next group is Cheryl Robinson, Becca Stillman, Janet Phillips, Rachel Kohler, Gloria Diven, Elizabeth Kubala. They can come up and sit down, and they will be followed by Lisa Salazar, Lauren Ross, Hector Medina, Nancy Flores, Patrick Von Dolan, Christina Jones. Okay, Cheryl Robinson, are you here? Cheryl Robinson was in favor of the bill. We'll change that to registering a physician. Becca Stillman. Becca Stillman is opposed to the bill. We will change her oral to registering a physician. Janet Phillips. Janet Phillips. Janet Phillips is registered, wanted to speak in favor of the bill. We will change that to registering a physician. Rachel Kohler. Rachel Kohler was against the bill. We will reflect that she will be changed to registering a physician. Gloria Diven. Gloria Diven was in favor of the bill. We will change that. Elizabeth Kubala. Okay, Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thank you for your stamina, your patience, and your good humor. My name is Elizabeth Kubala. I am opposed to this bill. I represent myself. I live in Austin, and Kirk Watson is my senator. I believe that if we remove from this debate fanatics and ideologues on both sides and those who are primarily politically motivated and make available clear information about the implications of this legislation, the majority of Texans would not support it. If we truly care about children's pain, let's focus our resources and legislation on the hundreds of thousands of children who are abused, neglected, and traumatized every day, and on their parents who are so demoralized by their lack of resources and the obstacles they face at every turn that they are unable to keep their children safe. If we truly care about women's health, let's look at who is dying from cervical and breast cancer, where the low birth weight babies are born, and where infant mortality rates are highest. Let's pay attention to and act on the well-researched information about health disparities provided by the Center for Elimination of Disproportionality and Disparities, a center in one of our own state agencies. Whether or not you pass this bill, I implore you to read about and reflect on white privilege, particularly white male privilege. Privilege tends to be invisible to those who hold it. Privileged people believe their accomplishments are the result of their own hard work. They tend not to see all they've been handed. It's like a game of Monopoly where you get to play several rounds, acquire property, and erect hotels before others join the game. These new players, no matter how the dice roll, will land on your property and have to pay you. They will work hard and struggle, but they will never catch up. As people of privilege, and I count myself as one, we are faced with an ethical choice. What are we willing to sacrifice so that others may live life with the same rights, the same dignity, the same choices, and the same opportunities that we have? You asked me to say who I'm representing? Okay.
Thank you. The next group is Lisa Salazar, Lauren Ross, Hector Medina, Nancy Flores, Patrick Von Dolan, Christina Jones. They will be followed by Charlotte Ann Casey, Rachel Simons, Elizabeth Ray, Darla Weaver, Joanna Labor, and Nada Lulick. Okay, Lisa Salazar. Is Lisa here? Lisa wished to provide oral testimony in favor of the bill. We will change that to registering a physician. Lauren Ross. Lauren was opposed to the bill. Wish to provide oral testimony. We will change that to registering a physician. Hector Medina, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hector Medina, and I am from San Antonio, and my senator is Leticia Van Depute, and I support SB1, the pro-life omnibus bill, and I'm going to be honest, like Lady Amy Hedge was earlier, I view abortion as a peculiar institution, and I would compare it to slavery, and I'm going to be honest on my views. I know that some people are going to agree, disagree, but this is a class of people here. You know, life, I believe it begins at conception or fertilization, and I see these unborn children as a class of people who are being demeaned, a class of people who are being discriminated. And really, I do view it as murder. And this bill, of course, I mean, doesn't go as far as I would want my personal beliefs to go, but having less abortions is better. It would reduce them, and I also believe that it would cause more females to make smarter decisions about what they do, because a lot of women that I've known, and I'm not a woman, men don't have children, but a lot of women that I've known regret abortions that they've had in the past. And I understand that that is pretty common. So I would really hope that the majority of Texans, and out there in that pro-life rally, which I would give a conservative estimate of 3,000 people, the vast majority of those people out there today were pro-life. I think most Texans are pro-life. I think we need to save more unborn children. We need to give equal rights to a class of people, not have them discriminated in a state of slavery or a state of what I view as murder. And those are my views regarding SB1. And I really think that this country needs to go in a pro-life direction. State of Texas, we need to have less abortions, and we need to give rights to people in this state. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Nancy Flores, go ahead.
Madam Chair and Senators, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Good evening. My name is Nancy Flores. I'm an Austin resident, but originally from McAllen, and I'm here to offer testimony against Senate Bill 1. I'm a woman, daughter, sister, domestic violence and sexual assault advocate, and teacher. I'm also the mother to my 5-year-old son, Noah. As a woman, I am ashamed to live in Donna Campbell's district. I do not understand how any woman can be supportive of legislation that allows others, mostly white men, to tell her what she can do with her own body. As a mother, I carry dearly that choice I made to become a mother. Throughout my own journey, I was faced with uncertainty about whether to carry a child, both for personal and health reasons. Almost 6 years ago now, I ultimately decided to have a child that utilized the maximum time and information necessary in which to make my decision. As a domestic violence and sexual assault advocate, I cannot count the number of times I encountered women, young and old, who had been abused, raped, violated in some way. Many times I accompanied them to emergency rooms, and not once did a woman ever get, to quote Representative Blobbenberg, get cleaned out by a rape kit. Way too often, women who had been raped could not even process the violence that had been committed onto them until months later. She was not thinking about options regarding a possible pregnancy at the time of her attack. She was focusing on one thing, survival. She had no concept of time passing and was certainly not pondering whether or not she might become pregnant. Had this type of legislation been in place at the time that I was assisting these survivors, many of them would have had to have seen a pregnancy to term that arose from a rape. If this passes, this is exactly what will happen now. As a teacher, I have taught various grade levels, ranging from 3rd grade through high school. During the time I taught 8th grade, not one graduation ceremony took place where there weren't a handful of pregnant girls crossing the stage. The vast majority of these children had been raped or had a family member commit incest against them. Having worked in impoverished school districts, not only was there no sex education in schools, but there was absolutely no information regarding contraception or even alternatives to pregnancy. These children are not thinking about time in 20 weeks. Again, if this legislation passes, they will have no choice. Thank you.
Patrick Mondolin, go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for fulfilling your responsibility to listen to Texans. My name is Patrick Von Dolan. I am married to Happy and have 9 children, one of whom is with me this evening. My daughter Blaine is just behind me. We are proudly represented by Senator Donna Campbell, and I resemble that white man remark, but have women's, particularly my wife's, interest at hand. And we are residents of San Antonio. We stand for life with Aggies, and particularly with the San Antonio Family Association. You cannot have a democratic republic without morality. and you cannot have morality without religion. In here, I hold the $20 bill, and I share this with you because it has a face value of $20. If I crumple it up, what's its value? It's still $20. If I hide it as it was in my wallet, covered by a layer of skin, this happens to be bull hide, not a woman's skin, but bull hide, what's the value of it? It's still $20. The value of it doesn't change, no matter whether you can see it through a layer of skin or not. Walking over here, I came across the 1971 State House of Representatives commemoration photo. My dad happened to be a freshman in the State House of Representatives. My two brothers and my 2-year-old picture were displayed on the commemoration photo. Why does the State House or the State Senate commemorate children of freshman legislators? Is my human life value different now versus when I was 2 years old in 1971? Or versus when I was 21 days old, when my heart began to beat in utero? Do you have a way of objectively considering the value of the unborn versus the value of the born? Remember the $20 bill example. No matter where it is, it still has a face value of $20.
Thank you. Christina Jones.
Thank you. My name is Christina Jones, and Campbell is my senator. I'm a woman, obviously a Texan, a Christian, a voter, and I'm pro-choice. I'm also a small business owner, and it's costing me quite a bit of money to be here over the last several weeks to fight for this. But I'm against this bill, and it's been an honor of mine to fight against this bill over the last couple of weeks and to fight for women's reproductive rights. I simply believe that the choice to have an abortion is a federally protected constitutional right that should be made by a woman and her doctor. What is medically in the best interest of a pregnant woman should be decided between her and her medical team, not her government. You don't have to like abortions. However, surreptitiously trying to ban abortions and severely limiting a woman's access to reproductive services is not, as Laubenberg said, in the best interest medically for a woman. I trust a woman and her doctors and nurses to make better informed decisions regarding whether or not she wants or needs an abortion than I do lawmakers who think rape kits clean women out, preventing her from getting pregnant. This bill is a slap in the face to any woman who has been raped or the victim of incest. You put her opinions, her choices, and her federally protected rights to the curb. This bill also discriminates against women because in no comparable way can you show us how men have had their access to medical care so grossly infringed upon. And that is why I'm against this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to this panel. If you'll exit that direction.